Hey everyone, it's Lisa from TRW, and in this video I am going to show you how to cut holographic heat transfer vinyl. So I have a piece right here. This is probably one of the hardest vinyls to cut in theory. Now once you get your good cut settings set, then holographic vinyl is really no problem at all. So in this video I'm going to show you how to find a good cut setting for holographic vinyl, some things to look out for, and by the end of it you should have all the resources you need to cut your holographic vinyl. So if you like this video and you want to learn more, don't forget to subscribe to us on YouTube, press that thumbs up button, and make sure you turn on your notification bell so you don't miss any more videos from us. Okay, so now I am in Silhouette Studio, so I encourage you to watch some of my other videos on how to cut different materials. I have my design in here already, so I'm just going to set it up in the corner. I'm going to go over to the left side. I'm going to draw a square around my design. I like to draw weed boxes around my designs just because I think it just makes it a lot easier at the end of the day. And I'm going to set this up without a cutting mat. So you'll notice there's no cutting mat around here. If I wanted one, I could go right here, do cutting mat. So if that makes you more comfortable with cutting HTV, by all means do it. But I'm going to go ahead and turn it off because I love not having to use a cutting mat. So let's jump over and let's put this right here. Go to our send panel. And then the first thing to note is you want to make sure your whole design has that red bold line. So we're going to select the whole design, click on cut, and now we have that line. One thing I'm going to go back, I forgot to mirror it. So we're going to go back over here, right click, flip horizontally. And so that's a big point to make. When you are cutting heat transfer vinyl, especially the holographic here, it's got a carrier sheet. So this sparkly holographic look that you see here is what's going to be on your shirt. This is what adheres to your shirt. However, we can't cut through this carrier because this is what holds our whole design together. So we need to cut on this side, meaning we have to cut our design in reverse. So that's why I flipped it horizontally. So let's go over to our send panel. We have our design bold, and now I'm going to drop down. I'm going to hit this arrow, and all the way at the bottom I have a preset in here for holographic. So one thing to note, I always recommend putting in your own presets. The ones that come with Silhouette work well, but every brand of vinyl is a little bit different as well. So I like to set mine for exactly what I need, and it really just depends on how old your machine is. There's a lot of factors that go in. So when you make your own presets, you know you get exactly what you need. So for mine, I have my blade at 5, my speed at 10, my force at 16, and I have 2 passes. So if you cut other types of vinyl, you'll notice that the first parts of my settings are really similar to glitter. They have similar force, the blade is pretty close, but I'm doing 2 passes. And so that's the biggest thing to remember about cutting holographic is you're going to find your best results if you're doing 2 passes, or we call it a double cut. Just because the vinyl is very like almost metallic-y in a way, you want that second pass to make sure you're really cutting through. And a lot of times people will say, okay, well then I'll just increase my blade and I'll increase my force and that'll work better. Well, in reality, if you're increasing your blade, you're making the blade or the knife go down too far, and so you're basically going to cut through your vinyl and your carrier. When we do 2 passes, it's not increasing any pressure, it's just going over it one more time to make sure that cut works well. So I have all of these set in here. We're going to go through, and if you want to program your own custom cut settings, make sure you check out the link in the description and in the corner. I'm going to add that in there so you can make the settings that work best for you. So I'm going to go over, we're going to load the material into the machine, and then we're going to do a test cut, and I'm going to show you some things to look out for in the vinyl to see, hey, did my cut go well or did it not? So I have my holographic vinyl here. This is the holographic aqua. It's a really pretty aqua blue color. So we're going to turn it over like we do our other HTV, and I'm going to line it up with my blue line over here, push it against the roller, and now we're going to press load. So one thing to note is it's like this slick metallic-y look. So whenever you're cutting holographic, I really urge you, please, 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 please make sure you're doing a test cut, because there's a couple factors you have to kind of figure out with this, and so if you're not doing a test cut, you could ruin a whole design. So let's go over into my software. So I have my Silhouette Studio open here, and here are my settings I've programmed for holographic. My blade at 5, speed at 10, force at 16, and 2 passes. So let's go down to the bottom, let's click test. We're gonna do our test cut now. So it did 2 passes on each. So let's go over here, unload. So the first thing I'm doing as I'm lifting up is I'm feeling the back of my vinyl through the carrier. A good cut, you'll kind of see the indentation of your design. Kind of see it in there, you can kind of see right there. But you won't feel it through there, all right? Can you see that right there? So that's good. And then when you feel on this side, the way the cut goes, you'll almost like feel the texture on here. So let me kind of just let that focus for you. You'll see and feel a little bit of texture there. Not a whole lot, but enough. All right, so let's hold this up. I'm gonna grab my weeding tool. I'm just gonna grab in the corner, and it may take you a second or two to actually get your weeding tool into there to get your vinyl. That's okay. All right, so check that out. My triangle stayed behind. My square came up easily. I don't have any indentation or my blade going through the back, so this cut is pretty good. So let's go ahead. Let's load this in here. And let's go back to my software. So you can see I have my design here, and let me jump back over here real quick. I have my test cut right here. I'm gonna press this button in the corner. This is my move. Just gonna move my blade over so it starts past where my test cut was. Now let's jump back to the software. So here's my design, same settings, and now send. Okay, so my cut is done. I'm just waiting for it to finish processing. So you can see the cut lines right now while we're waiting. All right, so we're gonna unload it. Let's flip it over. This one, I can feel a little bit of the indent. So if I were to do this again, I might bring my force down just a tiny bit, but you can see it's still pretty good. Now let's go through. I'm gonna use my weeding tool, grab in this corner from my weed box. And again, it's not a big deal if you're having a couple seconds to dig in there. Holographic is a really thick vinyl, so sometimes just to kind of dig in to pull a corner up can take a second. But you can see once I'm going, it's really not giving me trouble. And there's one thing I'm going to show you in just a second that you want to look out for when cutting holographic. It's nothing bad, but because holographic is a really thick vinyl, you want to just be mindful of some of your sharp corners. So let me go over here and peel up this W, and then I'm going to hold it up and show this to you. So you can see it kind of rips as I do it. It's not a big deal, it's just because it's thick. But the cut itself is good, it's just how the vinyl is. Okay, so we have that cut here. Now if you look closely, you can see these little corners came up a little bit. These will still press fine. You won't have any problems pressing. It's just one thing to look out for because the vinyl is so thick. Sometimes these sharp corners can give you some trouble. It's just the nature of the vinyl itself, but you can see it looks really cute. So I do have another video where I've worked with holographic vinyl. I have a video where I pressed a unicorn with rainbow holographic. I'll put the link in the description and up in the corner here. I think you guys will really enjoy it. So with this video, if it helped you, make sure you give it a thumbs up. Leave a comment below. Let us know what you think. Let us know what kind of things you want to learn. And if you aren't subscribed to our channel already, go ahead, click that subscribe button, press that little bell next to it so you don't miss any videos.